Have you ever spent hours trying to explain yourself, only to realize that no matter what you say, some people will never listen? What if I told you that the greatest strength isn't in explaining your truth, but in choosing when to speak and when to remain silent? This is the story of a man who learned that peace is more powerful than every argument you've ever had. In a quiet village by winding rivers and soft hills lived a craftsman named Elias Rowan. Elias made oil lamps, simple tools, yet each glowed with warmth in the dark. Villagers admired his skill, but not everyone respected him, because respect often fears quiet excellence. Across the square lived Bernard Hale, the town's official with a sharp tongue and a judgment ready for every soul. He believed authority gave him the right to define others. For reasons even he couldn't explain, Elias became his favorite target. Bernard loudly claimed that Elias charged too much for his lamps, that he was greedy and dishonest. His accusations were careless, but they landed heavily. Every time Bernard spoke, people paused, nodded, and murmured behind Elias's back, letting doubt grow without proof. When Elias tried to defend himself, he did what most of us do. He explained. He spoke calmly about the cost of materials, the patience his work required, and the honesty in every piece he sold. He spoke so much and so often that eventually his own silence began to feel loud with regret. But no matter how clearly he spoke, no matter how kindly he tried to explain, Bernard didn't listen. Not really. And soon whispers spread through the village, shadows of stories that weren't true, growing stronger with every explanation. Every night, Elias sat alone in his workshop, watching his lamps flicker against the dark walls. The light was comforting, steady, and honest, everything he wished people could see in him. It reminded him that real value does not shout for attention, it simply exists. But his heart felt heavy with exhaustion, worn down by the need to defend himself. He kept asking himself why he was trying so hard to make people understand something they had already chosen to ignore. His words were sharp and sincere, yet they fell on ears that had already decided their story. The more he replayed conversations in his mind, the clearer one truth became. Some people don't listen to learn, they listen to confirm what they already believe. And no explanation can compete with a closed mind that has already passed judgment. One day, a traveler came through town. He didn't announce himself or demand attention. He simply arrived and sat quietly in the square, as if he belonged there all along. There was something about his presence that slowed people down and softened their voices. Villagers gathered around him naturally, asking questions about life, loss, and meaning. He answered without hurry, without ego, with the kind of calm that feels earned through experience. When the crowd thinned, Elias approached him. With tired eyes and a heavy heart, he confessed his struggle, finally letting the weight spill out. "I try to be honest," Elias said softly, "but every explanation I give only makes things worse. No matter what I say, they twist it. How do I make them understand?" The traveler looked at Elias with steady calm and asked him a simple question. If a man insists the sun rises in the west, can words change his mind? Elias paused, caught off guard by the simplicity of it. The answer felt obvious, yet uncomfortable. "No," he said quietly. "He will believe whatever he wants to believe." The traveler nodded, as if Elias had just solved his own problem. He placed a gentle hand on his shoulder and spoke with clarity, not comfort. He didn't tell him to fight harder. He didn't tell him to shout louder. He simply said, "Truth doesn't need defense. Speak when your words build. Be silent when they are only arguments." Those words followed Elias home and stayed with him through the night. They echoed louder than every insult he had ever heard, cutting through the noise in his mind. He realized how much energy he had wasted trying to convince people who never cared to be convinced. For the first time, he saw how explaining himself had slowly drained his spirit instead of protecting it. That night, he made a decision that frightened him more than any accusation ever had. He chose to stop explaining himself. He chose silence, not out of weakness, but out of respect for his own peace. In that silence, he felt lighter, as if a burden he had carried for too long had finally been set down. For the first time, he allowed truth to stand on its own without his constant protection. At first, the village questioned him. When rumors spread, Elias didn't respond, and his quiet unsettled those who expected resistance or excuses. When Bernard sneered and mocked him in the marketplace, Elias simply smiled and returned to his work, refusing to feed the conflict for even a moment. His calm confused people more than anger ever could, because it offered no drama to cling to. Some thought he was defeated, others assumed he had nothing left to say. But Elias wasn't defeated at all. He was rediscovering something stronger than every argument he had ever lost, his peace. And with that peace came focus, clarity, and a quiet strength that no insult could touch or take away. Each evening, Elias placed one lamp outside his workshop, one steady light, one calm glow that refused to flicker, even when the wind picked up or the night grew darker. It became a silent symbol of who he had chosen to become. Travelers noticed its warmth and felt drawn to it without knowing why. They began to ask where it came from and who made it. Word spread slowly, not through loud voices or public defense, but through quiet experience and trust. People came to buy his lamps because their light didn't falter when it mattered most. They burned long and clear, guiding travelers down dark paths with gentle strength. Slowly, something remarkable happened. The villagers began to see the value in his work for themselves. Not because Elias explained it to them, but because his work spoke louder than any defense ever could. Then one evening, Bernard came to Elias's workshop, not to mock, not to accuse. He stood quietly at the table, placed a few coins down, and asked for a lamp, his voice lower than before. Elias looked at him without resentment and handed it over with a nod. There was no anger, no victory, no need to prove anything, just calm professionalism and quiet dignity. That night, Bernard stood in front of his home, watching the soft glow of the lamp. He didn't say a word, but in his silence, something shifted. The truth didn't need to be explained anymore. It had finally been seen without argument. Elias didn't stop talking altogether. He began to speak only when it mattered, when words could actually build instead of drain him. He learned that you don't waste your fire trying to light the darkness in people who choose not to see. You preserve your flame for places where it can actually warm and protect. Silence, he realized, is not weakness, it is discipline. Peace is not absence, it is strength. And boundaries are not cruelty, they are self-respect in action. And this is the lesson that transformed his life. You don't need everyone to understand you. You only need to understand your own worth and stand firmly in it. When you stop chasing validation, you stop bleeding energy. When you stop explaining yourself to closed minds, you begin to live freely. Your truth does not require permission from those who never valued it. If this story touched your heart and reminded you of your own battles with judgment and misunderstanding, remember this: your peace is your power. Speak when it builds. Stay silent when it protects. Let your actions speak when words are wasted, and let your life be the proof of your truth. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more motivational tales that uplift your spirit and sharpen your mind. Share this with someone who needs a reminder that peace is stronger than praise and silence is louder than every misunderstanding. Until next time, stay calm, stay confident, and keep your inner fire shining.